And welcome back. Well, Dusty Ballenger has been collecting checkered flags and track championships since he was 18 years old and is without question one of the top 360 drivers in the region. But that's no longer his only job. Now he's calling the shots both on and off the track. Ballenger talks about his new perspective in this week's edition of Hot Laps with Hot Rod.
Well, Jay, we decided Hot Laps with Hot Rod this week should be something dusty because we haven't had much dust around the racetracks. The only dusty at the racetrack is this man, Dusty Ballenger. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the program.
Thanks a lot, Hot Rod. I appreciate it.
Got to be frustrating. Got the new team this year, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. Haven't had a chance to race much, but when you have raced, so far so good.
Yeah, it's going really good. Started our own deal this year, and I think we've raced 9 times and won 3 times, so we're doing really good and hope we can keep it rolling.
You've had a chance to drive for the family. Of course, you and your dad, Steve. You've had a chance to drive for guys like Lauren Barstead, Tom Wilson, Dale Furby, a lot of these types of guys. How do you drive differently as far as owning your own team as opposed to driving for somebody else? Is there much difference as far as your perception and your mentality on the racetrack?
Yes and no. First off, I have drove for some really good car owners. Everybody that I drove for, I really appreciated the opportunities that they've given me. This year with running my own deal and paying my own bills, you want to be conservative, but you got to go out. I mean, you still got to go out and win races, and you can't really be conservative and go out and win races. You got to finish them to win them, though. We've had pretty good luck over the years or success with avoiding wrecks and stuff like that, and I just try to keep that rolling, but still try to drive aggressive enough so that you can get some wins.
Obviously, the decision making is instantaneous. I mean, you almost have to react as opposed to make a decision. But emotions play a fact in this as well. One of your car owners, Lauren Barstead, has a memorial race every year, which I know you've had some great success in. How do you put those emotions aside and focus on the task at hand?
That's really tough. That's a good question. When we go to the Lauren Barstead race, it is an emotional race for me. I spent a lot of time with Lauren on the road racing, and I think I drove for him on and off for like 3 years. He was kind of like a second dad to me, and he always put me in really good equipment. But you have to put them aside when you get to the racetrack, and you just got to go out there and do the job that you're there to do, and that's, for me, is to go out there and try to win races.
We talk about the difference in driving for yourself and for somebody else. How about the difference in driving when you were a single guy and now being a family guy with kids? Have you noticed any difference in your risk-taking, per se, now that you're a parent?
Yeah, I could say I maybe got smarter in the race car, but I don't know if that's possible. Yeah, there is a difference. It seems like when my daughter was born, Bailey, it makes you think about things a little bit when you're out there on the racetrack. And then when Blake came along, it's like, yeah, I got 2 kids here, and you got to be careful. You don't want to lose your life in one of these things. They're really pretty safe anymore, but it does cross your mind once in a while when you're out there.
Your dad, Steve, great racer in his day, still a great racing guy. You've always been around racing. Tell me about the first time you said to Steve, Dad, I want to race. And how did that progress? What was his reaction, and how did it progress from there?
Well, I guess I kind of been around it my whole life. He started in like 1984, so I think I was only 2 years old. So as far as I can remember, I've been around him racing and always been around in the shop working on the race car. And then as I got older, he let me come along in the pits, and I think he kind of just knew that I was probably going to race. I mean, from being around it so long. I can't really remember the first time I asked him. I pretty much just said, hey, I think it's about my turn or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but I do remember the very first race out at Hartford in the rookie class. I was running second in the heat race, and he told me that if you ever get in trouble and you're going to spin out or something, just gas it. And I did that, and it flipped over backwards, and I end-over-ended about 4 times. And I was so scared when the car finally landed, I thought I was in big trouble. So I bailed out of the car and took off for the pits, and they didn't see that. They thought I fell out of the car or something. So that was kind of an exciting race. Nobody got hurt or anything like that, and he wasn't mad at me. So, and then it just kind of progressed from there.
How do you think you'll react the first time one of your kids comes to you and says, Dad, I want to race?
They already both have.
Are they really?
They're 5 and 7. So, we'll probably get them started in go-karts or mini sprints someday. And I can't wait for that. I mean, I know how much fun I had racing with my dad, and still he's involved heavily with our new team. And I can't wait to carry that tradition on in my family with my kids.
You have a great tradition yourself already, a lot of wins, a lot of different tracks, track championships. When you look at all of your success so far in the 13, 14 years, whatever it's been that you've been racing, Is there one or two moments that stick out on your mind as like really cool?
Yeah, I would say probably my most memorable win was probably the 410 class at Huset's, and I was using a 360 motor and beat Terry McCarl on a couple of restarts. That was probably my most memorable win. Yeah, you know, I mean, I've had quite a bit of success. I think we're like almost 60 wins now and 7 track championships between Rocky and Huset's and Hartford. So, you know, like I said, we're having a lot of success this year already, and I hope it continues.
Are there any goals that you have not achieved yet you'd like to get?
You know, we just kind of set our goals week to week, basically. At the beginning of the year, I told my guys I'd like to get 10 wins, and we got 3 of them out of the way already. And first night out, we got one out of the way. So seems like when you get that first win out of the way, they start coming a lot easier. So we're just going to set our goal for this year. We would like to get 10 wins, and if we get any more than that, then it's just a bonus.
Dusty, it's been great to talk to you. Continued success, and we'll see you down the road.
Thanks a lot, Hot Rod. Appreciate it.
You bet. That again, Dusty Ballenger. That's this week's segment of Hot Laps with Hot Rod.
All right, thanks, Rod. Ballenger, by the way, is the reigning 360 champion and current points leader at both Huset's and I-90. The question now is, will he get a chance to add to his lead this weekend in Hartford? I-90 owner-promoter Lyle Howie III would love to see him try. We'll hear from him when we come back.